City today draws attention to an alleged hate crime against Sikhs. Last week, a man driving a pickup truck shouted racial and religious slurs at Sandeep Singh, a practicing Sikh. The driver ran him over, dragging him 30 feet. Singh remains hospitalized with his attacker at large. Sikh advocates are calling for city and federal agents to investigate. They're releasing an audio statement from the victim.
My name is Sandeep Singh, and I'm in a great deal of pain, but I will survive. I was attacked because I'm a Sikh and look like a Sikh. Justice should be served so no one else goes through what I've been through. We need to create the world together and create a world without hate.
The New York incident occurred almost 2 years to the day after a gunman massacred 6 worshipers at a Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. That attack was one of the worst in 50 years at an American house of worship. 2 members of the Sikh community who advocate for religious freedom are joining us. Rajdeep Singh is the Director of Law and Policy for the Sikh Coalition. Jasjeet Singh is the Executive Director for the Sikh American Legal Defense Fund. Jasjeet, would you just give us a quick snapshot of the Sikh community? I'm sure there's a lot of confusion about it.
Sure, Brian. The Sikh faith is the 5th largest in the world. There are about 22 million Sikhs worldwide and about 700,000 in the U.S. Being the 5th largest religion, we believe in some distinct things, but we also believe in many common American values. We believe in one universal truth, serving God by serving humanity, sharing our earnings with others, and general social justice issues.
Rajdeep, as a Sikh American, what kind of religious liberty priorities do you have and others like you?
Sure. So Sikh Americans have been in the United States for more than 100 years. And in that time, Sikhs have encountered violence and discrimination because of their religion. And since 9/11, Sikhs have been subjected to high rates of hate crime, school bullying, racial profiling, and workplace discrimination. And as you mentioned earlier in the segment, just this past week, we encountered a hate crime in New York City. Today, August 5th, it is the 2nd-year anniversary of the Oak Creek massacre. And we've called on the FBI to begin tracking hate crimes against Sikhs. We also experience discrimination at the highest levels of government. So, for example, Sikh Americans practicing Sikhs are not permitted to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces with their articles of faith intact.
Articles of faith, meaning your turban.
Turban and beard. And the message that sends to society is that Sikhs are not an integral part of American society. And Sikhs have served in militaries throughout the world with distinction. And so we're fighting for equal opportunity in the military. As well, our children experience high rates of school bullying.
Do you ever feel like marked men because it is so obvious who you are because of your attire?
You know, Sikhs have been persecuted for their entire history. The faith is about 500 years old, and from the very beginning of our faith, Sikhs have been targets. But we're a very resilient people, and we are required to hold our heads up high in the face of adversity.
And can you talk a little bit about what you have been doing to try to raise awareness among Americans in to your plight?
Sure. So we feel like a lot of the challenges that the Sikh American community faces is primarily a result of the fact that people don't know who we are or what we stand for. In the aftermath of Oak Creek, the tragedy in Wisconsin, we especially became aware that we need to raise awareness about who our community is. So we embarked on some research that we conducted with Stanford University in late 2013. It was the community's first ever public perception assessment, an effort to understand exactly what does the average American think about members of the Sikh American community. And what we learned was surprising. We learned that many people don't know who we are, but also that people have an adverse reaction to just the turban and beard just on its own. So we created a public service announcement with the help of Comcast, and we distributed that in 39 states. Those sorts of efforts have been helpful in getting the word out, but we continue to engage efforts like that around the country.
Didn't you also take a dinner, a traditional Sikh dinner, to Capitol Hill? We
did actually. That is typically a dinner. It's called Langar, and it's an effort to create equality within society. That was the origin of it. And typically it's done in a Sikh place of worship, a Gurdwara, but we brought that to Capitol Hill just last week, and it was wonderful to have several members of Congress and their staffers partake in that effort.
Do you think they get it?
You know, it's a start. It starts a dialogue. They get to enjoy some free food, but they also get to learn a little bit about this community that oftentimes they don't understand.
Well, I've heard the food is very good, and I'm sure if Americans had a better understanding of who you are and what you stand for, there would be greater harmony. And we appreciate you joining us tonight to give us that better understanding. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.